Hi, this is Shadi, and today it's gonna be a breakdown between Judo and Kudo. I recently talked about the founder, Azuma Takashi. So today I'm gonna be talking about technicalities, rules, and put them face to face. So this one is gonna be a little bit different since Judo is a part of Kudo, and there's no need to compare throws or particular throws, but rather the whole approach, particularly the kuzushi, and also take in the fact that there's striking. Also talk about Newaza. Newaza is very different rule-wise, and also the fact that there is striking. That alone will change a lot of things. So this one is going to be a very interesting breakdown in terms of from the concept and also technicality. It is very much needed, and also to understand that when there is striking involved or a limited time, whether it is in the stand-up or the ground, it's going to make a lot of difference in the expression of the art. So without any further ado, let's start. So a judo match is 4 minutes long in a square surface of 10 by 10 meters. The ippon is everything. There is no point scoring. There is only wazari and ippon. Ippon is achieved usually when you throw someone flat on their back with full control. Also, rolling ippons are a thing. You also have wazari, as you see here, in case they happen to land not in a perfect way or the throw is not as controlled as it should be. You also win by arm locks on the ground and get the tap. A tap is an instant ippon. Also, the shimewaza, same thing. Once you go on the ground and you cannot get a full score or no score at all, you can also go to the ground and finish it. And lastly, the pin, the osaikomi, is also very big in judo. Most of Newaza wins are by osaikomi. Once you get past the legs and pin the upper body for 20 seconds, it is considered an ippon, and if it's between 10 and 19 seconds, it's a wazari. And if you have scored a wazari prior, you only need to pin for 10 seconds, and that would be considered wazari, awasate, ippon, or a total of 2 wazaris, which will equal 1 ippon. You can achieve that with throwing as well. 2 throws of wazari can get you the ippon. Also, golden score if the 4 minutes are up and the contestants are a tie. So when it comes to Kudo, it is a 13 by 13 surface. The match is 3 minutes long. They do follow a sort of a point scoring system, which is very similar to all judo, like koka, yuko, wazari, and ippon. They are translated as 1 point, 2 point, 4 points, and 8 points. 8 points is the ippon. It can be achieved through collecting points, or also by the tap, the submission on the ground, and also by the choke, like I said, and the KO is also an ippon. There is also, if you go to a tie, you get an extra round. There's no golden score because you can score points relatively easy when they're striking. And also they judge the points or the whatever score it is by effectiveness. So if you just happen to touch someone but have good techniques, if it's not as effective in real life, it's not given a score. So this is something that's really good about the art. And also really depending on the tournament, you have what is called 2 Newaza allowed, like 2 for 30 seconds, which we'll discuss a little bit later on, but that's mainly it. The ippon is also everything, but it's a little bit reflective of the old judo of yuko, koka, and wazari. And there is also the pin and the KO. So this is very much important in my opinion, because it does reflect a lot of reality, because this isn't just grappling, this is basically everything. Knee bars and straight ankle locks are permitted, but if you go to several sites of several federations, whatever country it may be, you can see that some rules may differ, but these are the basics: the 3 minutes, the 1, 2, 4, and 8 points. For example, there is an old PDF of I found of Kudo where they had these injury breaks, very similar to old Lethway, but now they don't allow it. It's just a KO, for obviously for safety reasons. Now let's go to throwing and how they approached it. So Kuzushi is big. It can be achieved through many ways when it comes to judo, and the gi in particular. You can see here there is that big lift, and then there is either pushing or pulling in all 8 directions, and that will create someone that no matter how big, how strong they are, or how heavy they are, once they are on the tip of their toes, you can easily manipulate their weight and you can throw them with ease. Another way it can be achieved is through the clinching, particularly the upright Greco-Roman approach, something that I really admire. In case of striking, this is very important because this is what Rener Gracie calls the green zone. Once you get in there, striking is heavily limited, and thus you can pull towards you and throw whatever your direction your upper body goes. They're gonna follow along since there is no gi to manipulate their weight or posture with. So when it comes to judo, obviously kuzushi, tsukuri, and kake, or unbalancing, positioning, and then executing the throw. The gi is very much important and also very much vital in terms of breaking the posture and also guiding them when you are trying to throw, whether it is pull on the sleeve and the push, punching down with the hand that's holding the lapel, or when you are doing a Russian arm and then pulling towards you even before executing the throw, they're gonna become bent over, and that will seriously compromise their position. So the gi is very much vital. That's why there's so many regulations regarding the gi. And also the grips are very much limited in judo, something like exotic like the Russian arm or Georgian arm, or the belt grip, pistol grips, etc. They are very limited in order to keep the game dynamic, but the sleeve and lapel, it's vital, and kuzushi as well. Now when it comes to kudo, remember striking is very much real. They also allow leg grabs. So obviously you're gonna allow leg grabs since there's kicking and you need to defend it. So it can be a range of possibilities when it comes to achieving the throw, either the clinch, either followed by striking, because striking you have that moment of deer in a headlight and then you can go in for the throw. Also countering someone else's throw is also good. Someone that's constantly on the move where they're striking and their posture is compromised or their balance is compromised through a kick or a jump, that can also be some type of kuzushi, or a good time for you to go in and really take advantage of their lack of balance and put them down. Here you see also there's the clinch, gripping, bear hugging, anything goes really. When it comes to the striking, it's gonna change a lot of things. So that's another thing, is that when you grab your classical sleeve and lapel, it's gonna be a little bit dangerous since there is striking, because you are leaving some space between the two, and thus they can really take advantage of that space and strike you. But here, for example, he immediately pulls him towards him in order to avoid a strike, even though it was a sleeve and lapel. So obviously judo, classical judo in the striking environment can obviously be possible, but you need to take into consideration the striking, of course. But the clinching and then really getting closer, obviously if they have their composure, you need to limit that space between you two, because here, as you see, the knees can get really nasty. Also the elbows, KO is a big thing. So kuzushi and kudo, it can be very much versatile and really big, and not just from sleeve and lapel and grip fighting. So now let's go to Newaza. Newaza in judo and kudo is this continuous motion. You are both fighting standing up, and the fight spontaneously goes to the ground. It is not willfully done. It is not done by guard pulling. This is not a Newaza match like a Kosen judo or a BJJ type of match, but rather Newaza is one piece of the entire pie. It is not the end all be all or the goal where they want to be like other disciplines like catch, BJJ, like I said, and the Kosen Judo tournaments. So it is a continuous and also like a harmonious way of getting to the ground with the throwing, with the gripping, and you know, whatever you can catch, whether it is an outstretched limb or someone is trying to turtle. In the case of judo, is when you can really initiate a lot of newaza as well, with continuity, of course. Let's see here some kudo newaza. Again, clinching, striking, and then they found themselves on the ground, and this is how it continued. And you can get the tap or the 8 points, which is also an ippon. Here you can see it's a big brawl. Someone gets the takedown, or actually both initiate a takedown, and they can find themselves on the ground. There is no pin in kudo like in judo, but you have your ground and pound. That's also a very big, and also you finish with your kansetsu. So there is a lot of things that you can do with the striking. Here you see you can also fight off your back in both ways, not just in judo or BJJ. But once there is striking, you cannot really turtle. That's another thing. And this is what I really like, is the explosiveness and dynamics of both disciplines. You can see that, you know, judo is big in it, and classical judo can really be, you know, applied here. But also you have to get your striking and, you know, striking defense really up to par with the competition for obvious reasons. But that's the thing. Here's another big difference. Like I said, the turtle, when there's striking involved, no one's gonna turtle. That's a fact, unless they're getting really desperate. I don't know if you've seen. It's a very graphic. Video. Gracie breakdown, they show it where someone is getting like ground and pounded, and they actually turn their back to protect their face. But that can be even worse. It's the very, like, how do you say, instinctive response, but unfortunately it is not the best one. Either you can get choked out, or, you know, you can strike the back of the head, which is, by the way, not allowed in kudo, neither striking the back. And in judo as well, there's so many attacks, so it is somewhat of a natural response, but it is the false response if you know how to fight, or you know how fighting actually works. Yes, you're protecting your face, but the back of the head is just as sensitive. So if someone is versed in fighting, they're not gonna turtle in a competition. But when it is only grappling, you're gonna see people that turtle strategically, just to stall. That's the only way they would do it. Also, another thing is that in judo, pinning is very much a thing. So here, to avoid the pinning, people also turtle as well, but that created a wide range of turtle attacks, like you see here. And also that will allow far more time on the ground, rather than kudo, when there is just ground and pound submissions and chokes. And also to spend the time of the pin on the ground will make it lasts far longer. Now, here is the biggest difference when it comes to newaza. In judo, like I said, dynamic and constantly moving. In kudo, it is stopped 30 seconds. I think you get only 2 times 30 seconds on the ground, and then it is stopped unless you get an extra round of 3 minutes. Then you can go down on the ground. But in judo, as you see here, the Newaza show, I would say, by Hamada Shori, if the game is continuous, it can be all on the ground. This is a perfect example of Dusseldorf 2020. The match started, the Brazilian attacks, and then the match from there on was only on the ground. You cannot see that in kudo, but nonetheless, the newaza of kudo, it is very much reflective of MMA. It is very much reflective of real life. No turtling as there should be, but since in judo you can use the turtle strategically, there is the good in it, in my opinion, is that there is a lot of attacks on the turtle. You can really punish someone that turtles by turning them over, pinning them, tapping them, choking them, whatever it may be, just like you punish someone on the street or in MMA when they turtle. Even in UFC you see a turtle where you strike the sides of the head. That's just someone that's giving you the win easily without tapping or saying, you know, I quit. So this is mainly it. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. If you have anything else to add, please let me know down below. Also, consider supporting me on Patreon. And please do not forget to check out Josh Simon's shop for historical t-shirts and articles. This was Shadi, and thank you for listening.